Bobbye Benson. I heard about N.E.R.D because my sales rep actually did a cold call. He knocked on my door, and I never answered my door to a salesperson, but Carl knocked on my door, and I saw that it was a solar guy, and I was about to close the door. He goes, wait a second, real quick. I've got one thing I want to say to you. The cost of power is going up, and you're in a position where you can lock in your price. Open the door. All right, tell me what you got. And from there, we started talking and I think we kind of formed a friendship first and developed a trust between the two of us. And then after that, when we started talking solutions. Well, you could do this, you could do that. And he wasn't selling me solar. He was presenting me with solutions that I got to choose from. So I was like, this is somebody that I can work with. And that's how I got into the N.E.R.D fam. The driving solution was to have a solar solution that was large enough to equip my new house, the house that I'm in now, because when Carl came, he was at my old house, and I wanted to be able to have 100% off-grid, even in the city though. So if I wanted to flip a switch and be able to say, I'm not gonna be using grid power at all unless I absolutely have to. And that was what brought me to being interested in doing that. 54 panels on the roof. Yeah, so that's interesting because after I spoke with Carl, I don't take anything at face value. Of course, I'm a business guy. I'm a director at Consumer Cellular. I had to shop him. I called the other solar companies. I even got on, called up Solar Sandy, had her come out to my house, sat down, spoke with her and was like, hey, tell me about the solutions. And I began to realize that the information that Carl had shared with me is not the information that most solar companies are willing to share. He gave me, the price per panel, talked to me about the inverters on each individual panel and really educated me into the entire process. So I was like, okay, he's not just trying to sell me something. Well, the thing was that surprised me is I was in the process of building a new house, and we were going to do the standard build, with the slant roofs and everything like that. And he says, well, because my desire was I didn't want to advertise to everyone in the world that I was running solar. So one of the things he said, he goes, okay, so you thought about building the same house with parapet walls. So with him being able to give me insight into the way to get what I wanted, every step of the way, Carl was finding solutions to problems I didn't know I had. And that's what sold me on Carl. He's like, well, if you want to do that, you probably want to have, your panels beneath the roof line. So parapet walls. Okay, so got the wife sign off, and now we're doing a modern contemporary home instead of just the standard slant roof house. Okay, that works. Those are the kind of decisions that he helped me make. Well, it was really simple. All we really had to do is once the decision was made that we were actually going to purchase and move forward with getting the solar, because it was on a new build, we got all of our stuff down. We diagrammed out exactly where every panel was going to be on the roof. We've got a system that will allow me to shut off power so that I can continue to produce power even if the power company is off. I've got like an emergency shut off switch or something like that, so I can still run my house even if the grid is down. And once we did that, as we moved through the process, it was like, okay, now we've got this hurry up to wait because we're waiting to build a house. So it was months, and I'm like, man, I'm a little worried that, what happens if my solar guy disappears, because I put down my deposit on thing, but then it was 6 months before we were ready to, hey, come put something up on my roof. I was able to pick up the phone. I called Carl. I said, hey, Carl, we're just about ready to put stuff on the roof. And he's like, oh, well, great. I'll stop by today. You're just going to pop by because I called you? He came by that same day, came in, he saw the new house. He's like, okay. He goes, everything is exactly kind of where we need it to be. He goes, so when are we going to get started? And I put Carl in contact with my GC, and they started talking back and forth. They came to an understanding about how they were going to do it. And then we got our stuff done through N.E.R.D. So we financed about 25% of the purchase price on N.E.R.D because it's a large system. So we made our down payments out of the construction loan for, the other part that I was responsible for. And then Carl basically had to hold my hand through that whole N.E.R.D process because I'm like, I don't want to call in and do this. I don't want to do that. He's like, Bobbye, I got you. Let's do this together. And we were on a three-way call, and he just walked me through the whole N.E.R.D process. We got it done, and I was like, oh, well, that wasn't so bad. He goes, no, because that's all it is. And we got that, and then, just recently, we saw the guys come out to do the install. It was probably about 2-3 weeks ago, and the install was amazing. Never in my life. This is the first time I've ever had solar. It's been great. The only thing that we're waiting on now is permission to operate. I think that's what they call it. And so that should be done here any day. I think probably Monday, Tuesday next week. My experience with Carl. Working with Carl motivated me. You know, I like to play with a drone and videography and things of that nature. So during the entire build process, I've been recording the progress of everything. And I shot a video, I put it together, edited it together really quickly, dropped it on Facebook, and I had everybody calling me, oh my gosh, what do you think about solar? Is your company good? Should I go with your company? So like, you know what? You can call Carl. And I gave them Carl's number, and I actually shared it online. Me and Carl are now friends on Facebook, so Carl was able to share it on his Facebook page. And so Carl probably said he's seen probably 5 or 6 new inquiries about solar from the video that we shot and put on Facebook. Absolutely. So we are definitely looking to use N.E.R.D when we put our new game room out in the back. So we're putting in a 2,400 square foot game room. It's gonna be kind of built like a sports bar. And when we do that, it will have its own set of solar on top of it. We're also gonna use it to power the chicken coop that we're putting in the backyard. The installation process was really good. We made a couple of things. I mean, it's a testimonial video, but you know, let's be honest with each other. One of the mistakes that we made was we ran an electrical conduit over the top of a door and over the top of some windows, and it should have came underground. I sent Carl a picture of it. I said, Carl, I really don't like the way this looks. He says, Bobby, hold on. Let me call the ops manager and we'll see what we'll do. Calls me back the same day. He goes, look, we're gonna send the ops manager out there. We're gonna bring the guys back. We're gonna run that conduit underground and we're gonna bring it back up and we're gonna remove that little wart on the side of your house. Problem solved. Took me all about 30 minutes to get it all resolved. So 100% believe in solar. Since the time that we purchased our solar system, the pricing of solar system has increased. In addition to that, I've already spoken with my accountant. I know how much money I'm getting back from the federal government as it relates to my solar install. So anything that I did not cover during, the amount that I put down, I will be getting that back, which also frees me up to do some future things like add batteries and stuff like that. So next year, that's when I'll be expanding the system using those that I'm getting back. In addition to that, the price of electricity is going up. APS just approved a price increase this year in the dead of summer. So, what used to be a $400 a month electric bill is now going to be $560, almost $600 a month, because we've got a fairly large home here. I'm not doing that. If I can lock it in right now, I'm at that age now where I'm starting to control costs. I've got everything I want in life. I just want to make sure that I've got a steady line so that, anything that ever my electricity doesn't go up, my water bill doesn't go up, I got my septic in, I'm good. And solar was a key piece of that because it ties into my smart home and I can monitor how much power each of my outlets is using, I can monitor what we're producing, and then I can sell some of that power back to APS so that if I have to spend money doing overnight or something like that, there's an offset. I 100% believe in solar.